Hey YouTube, I decided to film outside because why not? It's a beautiful day. So this is probably the, I don't know, third time that I'm recording this. I had some audio issues with the DJI Mic 2 and connecting it to my Sony camera. So if you've had issues too, let me know and I can send you over a video that helped me, which was basically you just need to update the firmware. So today let's talk about two lenses that I love and whether or not you can have both of them in your arsenal. And long story short, yes, I think there's a place for both of them within your camera bag. So the first one I want to talk about is my Sony 35 1.4 lens. So this has been my go-to. I picked it up when my daughter was going to be born, wanted something that was more wide angle that I could use in the hospital that still was, pretty true to life. So first lens is a 35 1.4. Next lens I want to talk about is the 50 1.4. So this I picked up a little bit later. But my first prime lens was actually a 50mm from Canon, and it was like super cheap plastic one. It ended up getting totally destroyed in a slot canyon near Page, Arizona, with all the grit that ended up getting into the lens. I let a friend's brother borrow it. So anyway, word of advice, do not take non-weather sealed cameras into conditions like that. So anyway, 50mm. So I was watching a YouTube video like I do and like you are currently doing, and it was by Roman Fox, and he was talking about the Sony 24 to 50 millimeter f2.8 G lens that had come out, I don't know, maybe a year ago, 6 months to a year. And he liked it because you got 35 and 50, but if you really needed to, you could go down to 24. So let's forget about 24. But ultimately his thing was like, well, for street photography, this is perfect because I get both a 35 and a 50. And for some reason that video just got me thinking like, well, what is my favorite focal length? And I've always thought that it was the 35mm, but I say that because right now I have small children. Typically I'm standing pretty close to them or not too far away because I gotta help, or I can't just let them run who knows how far. But anyway, so I thought it was a 35. But what I found is that I've been cropping in a lot. And I have a high megapixel camera, the Sony a7R5, and so I have that ability to be able to crop in. And that's what I want to call out with this 35 focal range, is that you can crop in, but you can't crop out. So that kind of goes up to the 50. A 50 is a great focal range. I love it. I think it's beautiful. And actually, when I went back after the fact and started looking at pictures from both the 50 and the 35, the 50 the pictures coming off my 50mm, I actually wanted to print more, and I loved the background separation, and I think the images are just more beautiful and I like them better. But when we're going out and doing a family event, I reach for the 35. So basically what I'm trying to say is that you can't crop out, you can crop in. And if I had to pick between one of these lenses, it would be the 35, but I like the pictures coming out of the 50 better. So that leads me to kind of the moral or gist of this video. And that is, I believe that you can have both of these lenses in your bag. And so even when you're searching on YouTube, Reddit, whatever, everyone's like, well, do I get a 50? Do I get a 35? Like, do I do the 35-85 combo? Do I do a 50-105 combo? And I think really it comes down to that they are very different lenses, and you do get a lot more compression with a 50 than you do with a 35. And I think the question that you need to ask yourself is, which one do you want first? Because I think you can have the 35 and the 50. And guess what? I also have an 85, although that typically stays in the bag unless I'm shooting portraits. But I think there's room in your bag. And then I think you have to evaluate, okay, what camera do I own? Do I own a high-res camera? Can I take the 35 and crop it into a 50? Do I own a 33 megapixel camera where I don't have as much cropping ability? And again, maybe you do want more of that 50mm focal range. But at the end of the day, you can crop in, you can't crop out. So that is my words of advice to you, is how much cropping do you do? Which one do you want to get first? what are you shooting? Again, this 35 is great because it's not too wide, it's not too zoomed in. But again, I love the images coming off the 50, and I think after doing this video, I'll probably end up taking it out more this weekend, just because, like, as I said, the pictures are just beautiful. So hopefully I've popped some up here on the screen for you to see. You can crop in, you can't crop out, but there's room for both of them in your bag. Thanks, see ya.